Hey you! Do you like Peak? Do you like D&D? Well then I have the greatest thing ever for you. A Peak-style D&D one-shot, or dungeon in a way. Let me explain. For this year's Dungeon Jam, I decided to go with the first silly idea that popped in my head. And I mean, it kinda does obey the 5-room dungeon setup. So, in Peak, there are 5 levels of the mountain before you reach the, the peak. These 5 levels are going to be your 5 rooms, and we're going to fill them with lots of danger for your players. Most of it will be climbing checks, survival checks, investigation checks, and dexterity saving throws. So strap in for a lot of math. So, your party is on the shore staring down a giant mountain that needs to be climbed. But what do you do first? Well, in this one-shot, there are 3 phases to each level. The first one is observing the mountain. Have your players all make perception checks, and take the highest one. If it's above 20, they get an easy path. If it's 15 or higher, the path will be more normal. If it's between 10 and 15, the path will be harder, and if it's below 10, let's just say it's... The second phase is the climb. So, a quick reminder, in D&D, your speed is cut in half when you are climbing, unless you have a climbing speed, so most characters will probably be about 15 feet per turn, unless you pick a tabaxi. Now, normally, climbing doesn't require a roll, but for this one-shot, we are making an exception. Players can choose to use athletics or acrobatics. If they succeed, they climb their full climb speed. But if they fail, they don't climb up at all and have to make either a strength or dexterity saving throw, or they'll fall down the mountain. As the DM, you are in control of the DC for said checks. I recommend making them easier on the first few levels and upping the difficulty when you feel you should. Players can also use the help action on each other if that player has already succeeded the climb check. The third phase is the rest stop. Players can take a short rest, cure conditions, find some loot, and use the scout statue to revive their party members. If no one can be revived, then the statue gives them one mystic item. Now that your players have been set on a path, it's time to set up some environmental obstacles. You can put as many or as little as you feel is right for the path your players are on. Some obstacles require checks or trigger when players fall, but there's no set way they work, so feel free to throw them in however you like. The shore is the easiest level. It's only a 60-foot climb with a few inconveniences. The jellyfish. A perception check with a DC of 11. If the players fail, they take 1 poison damage and fall prone. The urchin. Dexterity check of 13 when players fall. If failed, they take 1d4 poison damage and gain the poisoned condition. Bridge failure. A bridge has 5 HP and is safe for 1 player to cross alone. If more than 2 players cross the bridge, roll 1d4 and add +1 for every extra player. Deal that much damage to the bridge. If the bridge breaks, the players fall. The tropics. An 80-foot climb full of poison and rain. Spiked roots. Take 1d4 damage every turn you stand on them. Splody bush. Make a DC 15 save. If you fail, you get thrown off the mountain. Gassy bush. Deals 1d4 poison damage and gain the poisoned condition. A tick. Make the player do con saves every now and then, and make them take 1 damage when they fail. Poison bush. They get the poisoned condition. Rain. Every third turn, climbing checks increase by +1 as the rocks get wetter. The alpine. A 100-foot climb, my favorite level, and also the coolest. Yes, I made that joke, I'm sorry. Blizzard. Every 3 turns, the players make a survival DC 13 check. If they fail, they take 1d4 cold damage, and a -5 to the next climbing check. Having an item that grants you warmth prevents the cold damage and any negative effects to your climbing checks. Ice rock. When climbing on ice rocks, players take 1 cold damage and a -1 to climbing checks. Broken Piton. Lowers climbing checks by 3 for 1 player. Geyser. If a player stands on a geyser, it will erupt and launch them 20 feet into the air. The caldera is 150 feet across. It's a little bit different because instead of climbing, you're going to be moving across a lake of lava. And you can use a map kind of like this one. Lava rising and falling. Every 3 turns, the lava rises and stays for 2 turns. But while the lava is down, players can run across the ground as if it was difficult terrain. They will take 1d4 fire damage for every turn that they stay on it though. Eruption. Every turn, roll 1d6, and on a 5 or a 6, the ground beneath the players starts to erupt in a 10-foot radius. You can treat the eruption kind of like a fireball, but give them at least one turn to move. The Kiln. A 199-foot climb. Yes, I could have made it 200, but I think this number is a little bit better. Molten Rock. When climbing molten rocks, take 1 fire damage and a -2 to climbing checks. Lava Rises. On the 3rd turn, the lava floor begins to rise 10 feet on every turn. Finally, players are going to need items to help them make it to the peak. They can find these items by making investigation checks. There are 4 types of luggage that they can find. The regular one has 1 item. The big luggage has 2 items. The explorer luggage has 3 items. And the ancient luggage has a mystic item, but it deals 4 damage to get open. Here's the loot table for the normal items, and 1 for the mystic items. As for what they do, bandages heal 1d4 plus 2 damage. Medkit, heal to full and cures all conditions. Rope spool is 30 feet of rope. Le Piton lowers next climbing check by 5 for all players. The blowgun, make an attack roll. If it hits, then the target falls asleep and cures conditions and heals when they wake up. Rope cannon, 30 feet of rope that doesn't need to be lowered. Chain cannon, randomly switch the path you're on. The DM will roll a d4 and select a new path for you. Unless you are in the caldera, then you can use it to travel 30 feet in one direction. Number 8, Shell Fungus. Gives everyone advantage on the next climbing check. Remedy Fungus heals all players for 1d4 plus 2. Magic Bean. Pick one of the following effects. Give everyone advantage on the next climbing check, lowers the next climbing check by 5, or randomly switch the path that you're on. Antidote. Cures poison. Lantern. Provides warmth for all players for 6 turns. Heat Pack. Provides warmth for 1 player for 3 turns. Energy Drink. Doubles your climbing speed for 2 turns, and you gain a +2 to climbing checks. After 2 turns, make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw. If you fail, you fall asleep. Big Lollipop. Gives you the benefits of the haste spell. 15 temporary hit points, and +4 on climbing checks. After 3 turns, make a DC 18 Constitution saving throw. If you fail, you fall asleep. Airline Food. Gives a +3 to the next climbing check. Sports Drink. Increases your climbing speed by 10 for 1 turn. Scout Cookies. Gives +2 to the next climbing check. Has 4 uses. Granola Bar. Gives +2 to the next climbing check. Trail Mix. Gives +1 to the next climbing check. And for the mystic items, Anti-Rope Spool. 40 feet of rope that doesn't need to be lowered. Fairy Lantern. Heal all players for 1d4 plus 2. Has 4 uses. The Bugle of Friendship. Gives haste to all players for 1 turn with no side effects. Has 4 uses. Scout Effigy. Revive 1 player. Cursed Skull. Kills the player who uses it, but full heals all other players and cures their conditions, and revives all dead players. Cure All. Heals for 1d8 plus 4 and cures conditions. Has 3 uses. Well, that's all I have for today, folks. Thank you for watching, and I really hope if you do play this one-shot, you enjoy it. I know there might be some gaps here and there, but I had to rush a little bit. Sorry. So you might have to fill some things in for yourself. But yeah, make sure to check out all the other Dungeon Jam videos in the playlist right here. Okay, bye!